Rule 3. We recommend that thoughtful persons should moderate ambition. This is so contrary to prevailing practices that it requires explanation. We are all taught that we must succeed and that it is our personal responsibility to improve our fortunes in every way possible, even at the expense of health and happiness. The mere fact, however, that many agree as to a policy does not prove that that policy is right. It is only necessary to study the lives of successful persons and listen to their own stories of what success has caused them, to realize that it is all too possible to be an outstanding, successful failure. A moderate amount of ambition is certainly necessary, and without the incentive to improve and advance, there would be no progress, personal or collective. The difficulty is that success takes a great deal of time and attention. We must devote to this end most of our resources and most of our time. By degrees, we sacrifice ourselves entirely to a program which deprives us of leisure over taxes, our mental and physical resources, and prevents us from enjoying the really fine and beautiful things of life. A gentleman of my acquaintance who was an insurance executive served his company so well that after 25 years of faithful service, they presented him with a 3-month vacation in Europe. After he returned, a friend asked him how he enjoyed one of the great art galleries of France. He immediately replied, "It's a bad insurance risk. No hydrants within half a mile, no sprinkler system. And the building itself is a fire trap." Trying to get ahead in the world does things to our minds. We may become narrow to the degree that the wealth or authority which we attain can no longer bring us pleasure or contentment. Most money makers are poor money spenders. One of the world's richest men used string for shoelaces because he could not countenance the expenditure of 10 cents. This man was a success, envied by many, admired by few, and loved by no one. His name was mentioned to young aspiring economists as an example of ambition. If they worked as hard as he had worked and sacrificed as he had sacrificed, they too might hope to become rich. Here, philosophy enters the picture. After all, philosophy is nothing more or less than organized common sense. It points out that in this world, we must in some way pay for everything we get. To satisfy ambition, we must pay with our own lives by moderate success. We may provide the opportunity to live better and to enjoy a measure of security and comfort. But who can be moderately successful? The moment we take on the glamour of financial expansion, we become addicted to a habit-forming mechanism. One man told me that it had been his goal to make $1 million. Then he was going to retire and enjoy life. He was one of those who attained their goal, but he did not retire. Immediately he became obsessed with the possibility of increasing his holding to $5 million. He died of heart failure somewhere in his 4th million. Ambition can play another unkindly trick upon those over-addicted to its ways. It causes good and kindly people to be very unhappy because for one reason or another they are not able to reach the level of success which they have set for themselves. Surrounded by high finance and under constant pressure to expand beyond their means and abilities, they completely neglect the good things they already have. They forget that they have happy homes, bright growing children, good friends and a secure job and dissolve in self-pity when they read of someone else's vast holdings. Not long ago, a wealthy person poured his sorrows into my ear saying, "I want to travel, I want to study, I want to improve myself and give more personal affection and time to my family. But I cannot. Between board meetings on Monday, accountants on Tuesday, stock reports every day and the countless burdens of possessions it takes nearly every hour of my days and many nights merely to hold on to what I have. It seems to me that a generation dominated by such a pattern of ambition is causing itself a great deal of unnecessary misery. This world is a beautiful place and most of us could live in it reasonably well if we would be reasonable. This is not a plea for poverty. We must all carry our proper share of the world's burden of work and responsibility. We are better and happier persons if we keep faith with those who depend upon us and in this way preserve also our self-dignity. But let us not believe that a so-called successful life must be a rich or important life. In order to be real persons, we must have an inner existence that is also purposeful. When we are too busy to learn to live and to love, we are much too busy for our own good. Sometimes we must decide between forwarding some ambitious purpose of our own and neglecting or injuring others. We will never be content if we buy success at the cost of honor, integrity or our own natural humanity. We will never be content if we buy success at the cost of honor, integrity or our own natural humanity. The world is full of ambitious folks. Perhaps that is why so many of our affairs go badly. Dream for a better future and plan a successful life. But be moderate. Remember, all that money can buy you is a certain amount of time or leisure with which to do the things you want to do. The wealthy have admitted that a little less money and a little more happiness is the wiser course.